Hi everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Today I was out shopping, just normal shopping, and I saw a plant that I just could not pass up. I'm just going to show you it. Now this is it. This plant is completely dry, neglected. Its leaves are shredded. It's all brown in the bottom, hasn't been pulled away, dried out. The new leaf I think is either broken or this is maybe just the covering of it. You can see the leaves. The leaves of this plant are absolutely beautiful though. Look at that colouring and look at the size of them compared to my head. Really, really big. This was the only plant like this in the supermarket and I was like, it's got to be something special. It looks special, so I've got to get it. And I'm going to bring this plant back to full glory and full life. So the first thing we need to do is repot it, give it some new soil with perlite mixed in so that it doesn't get too waterlogged. Then I need to give it a good water. Then I'm going to cut back all the brown, cut off the broken leaves, and then we're going to watch this plant in the future unfold and replenish itself and be fresh, luscious, and probably get really, really big. So to start with, what we need to do is get a black plastic pot. I've got a little bit bigger pot because I want to put it into a porcelain pot when I'm finished, so it looks really nice. But this black plastic pot is one that I've had another plant in that I bought, so I'm reusing it, so that's a really good start. Some soil that I collected, so I don't make much mess. I put it in this pot because I need to mix it with perlite. And then our plant. So we'll just get to it. Put some soil in. There's big holes in the bottom of this pot, so I want to make sure I press it down in the bottom so all the soil doesn't just start racing straight through the bottom. This is a good planting soil mixed with a lot of nutrients, so this plant is going to get a beautiful flush of goodness. Into that I need to add perlite because this plant does need drainage as well. It doesn't want to be too wet. I can see it's got perlite in the soil it's already in. So perlite, mix that in to aerate the soil and to hold some of the water away. So that's a good start. Now I don't know how deep the plant is, so before I put any more soil into this pot, I need to put the plant in here with the new soil around. I think it's going to be pretty easy to pull out because if you look at this, look at that, bone dry, and its roots, they just want to come out, spread about a little bit. So nice doing this outside on the terrace at Crystal Cottage because it doesn't matter if I make a mess anywhere. Just sweep it all up after, so I'm just going to go at it. So I want to keep all this dirty soil here. Put this aside, crumble out, and see what's going on, and then release some roots, as you can see, and then put that in the new pot with the new soil, and start building up the new soil around the edge. Before that, with some of these dead bits I can just take those out because they're going to get covered actually. I'll just pull those, they're coming straight off, so might as well just pull all this debris off while I'm here. That's already made it look much better. So more soil around the edge. Here we go, turn it around. Oh, I love getting my hands in the soil and I love to save a plant. The that's been neglected. So there's the soil. Get a little bit more perlite here to put in around so I can mix that into this bit of soil. Ooh, it's so windy, it's all blowing away, but that's better than being indoors when I usually get it inside me, like that. So, mix in this perlite here, this bit of soil as well. God, this feels and looks so good already. Firm it down because it was also not very firm in its other pot. So, much more firm down. I've just got a little bee come and sit on the other pot here next to me. Nice. More soil. This is going to cause this plant to just flush out and replenish itself. Now this soil is quite moist, but I will give it a little bit more water because it was bone dry, so it does need to be watered through. There we go. A little bit more of this perlite. Just a little bit to mix in here. The last bit of soil. Maybe else all that. Nope. So that's the repotting done very quickly, very easy, very simple. I actually haven't put it too far up to the sides this time either, so that I can water it without worrying about the water running over the edge like I do very often. So have a look at what we got. There you go, new pot. Look, you can see all the perlite, and the plant already is starting to look fresher. Already, I'm telling you, just taking off the brown. And if I want to encourage new leaves onto this plant, I'm going to have to chop off some of those large leaves that are broken, and then it will flush out new leaves from the bottom. So I'm going to do that now straight away. Snip, snip. This big one is completely decimated, so off with that. Gone. This one here is also completely decimated. What's the point of that? Someone ripped it completely apart. This big leaf is fine. Good. This one here is also fine. This new one is doing okay. It's got a few holes in it, but you know what? I'll leave that. I think there's a brand new leaf coming in under this sheath here. And these two smaller ones here, three smaller ones, are looking really, really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to actually wipe off the leaves so they also look good, because they are very dusty and dirty. They haven't been looked after in any way at all. So just give it a quick wipe off, so that helps it to shine again. This leaf here, oh, they look so lovely and dark green when they're wet. And then this big one here, they've got a very dark kind of burgundy browny, yeah, like seaweedy kind of colour green. And then there's this red that's absolutely beautiful that comes out of the stems and the sheath there. I'll just clean this big leaf here too, so it really starts to look good. There, that has made a big difference just doing that. And then, oh, I didn't do this new one here. It's just coming out. Oh, I've just damaged it a little bit at the top, I'm afraid. It was a little bit damaged. I'll just cut it around a little bit so it looks a little bit okay, but I'm not going to take it off. It needs to use these leaves to get some energy. And I'm thinking of maybe seeing what's going on under this sheath. Okay, there's a new leaf coming out underneath this sheath, so I won't remove that sheath to protect that new leaf, and I think that's going to come out and look beautiful. So already, look at that. That is a really, really wonderful plant that was just left to dry out and near enough die. And now I've come along, tidied it up a little bit, freshened it up, and it's going to be amazing in no time. I can just feel it. I'm feeling it with my positive energy now. I want this plant to look wonderful very quickly, survive, and be very happy and a beautiful addition to my house plants. Oh, wonderful. Little thing here I need to cut off. And I think I need to just go and get me some small crystals to put around the bottom of this pot to help this plant to recover quickly. So now I'm ready to put this plant into a nice porcelain pot to really boost the overall wow factor of what it looked like to what it looks like now already very quickly. So I have this beautiful pot, isn't that lovely? White, and watch this transformation just by doing this. Isn't that lovely? Oh, this is just going to take off now and be wonderful. Now I've just got to tell you that this plant was for sale for 169 Swedish kroners in the supermarket, and the way it was looking, I was like, no way am I paying that price for a plant that looks near enough dead and completely ruined. So I went in and I said, excuse me, that plant looks half dead, it's completely dry, its leaves are all ripped up, but I'm willing to buy it if I can get a huge discount. So the lady, she went round the back, spoke to someone else, and then on the old pot, she came out with this tag on it. 40 Swedish kroners. That's right, people. She came back out and she reduced the price from 169 Swedish kroners to 40 Swedish kroners. So I got me a bargain here again. I knew the potential of this plant, and voila, a nearly new looking plant again, just like that. So all that's left for me to do now is to put some beautiful crystals in the bottom to give this plant some wonderful positive energy to help it on its recovery and to become a wonderfully beautiful lush plant again. These are milky quartz, you can see here. Milky quartz crystal I found when I've been out on nature walks myself. So they are perfect to put in at the bottom of this plant. So if I just show you around the back here where there's some space, in we go with the first one. Beautiful. This is really going to help this plant a lot. Next one, a little bit more around the back, and another one over here. Let's put them so they're like a 3-point crystal, healing and energizing for this plant. Now look at that. That is wonderful. So now I know this plant is going to make a beautiful recovery. So all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for watching Gardens and Crystals, and please remember to subscribe, and I will show you this plant again in maybe some pictures or in another video in the future so you can see what's happened and how it's flushed out. But remember, you need to get out there and find yourself some bargains, because there are bargains to be had everywhere. You just got to keep your eyes open and don't just walk past a plant that is ripped up, totally dry, looks smashed, because they've got potential, I'm telling you, all of them. If it's got a leaf coming out like this, in this sheath protecting it, there's one lovely new leaf coming out there already. The rest of it will be beautiful in no time, because when the new leaves come out, you can chop off the old ones and it will be replenished and look lovely. So I thank you once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to subscribe so that I can carry on making these videos and this journey can carry on as an interaction between me and you. And get out there and find yourself some plants just like this and nurture them back to life. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Goodbye.